Sunderland 0, Blackpool 0 here, Danny. What did you make of the game overall?
Frustration again, you could hear it towards the end. I think first half, as the half wore on, we were on top obviously, camped in their half almost, and half time perhaps come at the wrong time for us, just getting on top, working the goalkeeper a little bit more. Jack Clark come close towards the end of the half, obviously Elliot Embleton at the crossbar, and then second half never really got going. Credit to Blackpool, they came out a little bit more, had a go at us, plenty of set plays, one or two saves obviously from Anthony Patterson. And yeah, so it's frustration, back-to-back 0-0s at home in front of two great crowds. It's disappointing, let 4 points slip probably, so disappointing as it is, but positives to take a guess is clean sheets, back-to-back clean sheets at the other end of the pitch.
Yeah, Sunderland making 5 changes in the second half as well. Did that contribute to the frustration of the fans, do you think, to some extent, because they showed a lot of promise and almost moments, didn't they, the players that came on, but ultimately couldn't get many shots away on goal.
Yeah, couldn't get going. Sometimes making a lot of chopping and changing substitutions. Obviously Blackpool made a few as well, and it hinders the game a little bit, the flow of the game. But yeah, we're making the changes, and all positive from Tony Mowbray. Top end of the pitch, looking for that little injection off the bench, but it didn't quite happen. Obviously Patrick trying to get us going. That one incident, which I'm sure we'll get to look at, was where Patrick got fouled. If the ref allows play to go on for another 3 or 4 seconds, Elliot Embleton tucks the ball away. He blew his whistle a little bit early on that one, so frustration from that. But yeah, overall, did we do enough to win the game? Perhaps not.
Let's run the highlights then, Danny, and we can talk through the action. Sunderland's seen a few opportunities in the first half. So did Blackpool, mind, as well. But Sunderland maybe getting success on the left and right in the first half.
Yeah, very similar to the weekend, really. Not too much through the middle of the pitch, but yeah, having to work sort of outside the lines of the 18-yard box, really. You see again where we're driving. Link-up play again, Jack Clark into Elliot Embleton, and he's just trying to drop one over the keeper into that far corner. Just little curler, but unfortunately just comes off the top of the crossbar. Another day that drops in the far corner, and that would have been the difference for the 3 points. But again, it was a night of almost moments, wasn't it?
It was, Dan, and that was probably Sunderland's closest opportunity, apart from maybe the opportunity in the second half when Maxwell had to get down and make a good save on his right-hand side. But we're looking at opportunities here in the first half still.
Yeah, I think Connolly, from their point of view, he had their best opportunities as a header as well in the second half. That one there, second phase it was from a free kick, a wide free kick, and he finds himself in there, comes back to him, catches it quite well, just flashes past Anthony Patterson's left post, and they were set up in that first half. And you can tell, they're having a difficult time at the wrong end of the table, as we said before the game, and trying to sit deep and try and hit us on the counter attack when they could perhaps nick the ball off us, and that was their game plan. It frustrated us, throughout, but gradually, as you said it in that first half, we camped in their half, and
it was around this period of time, wasn't it, Danny, when we were making opportunities? And
they are, but you look at that one. That's a half chance, isn't it, from Jack? He just shifts it. He's still a distance out. He's looking for that far corner. It's a comfortable save for Maxwell, and then trying to get Ahmad into the game. Playing as that lone striker, difficult. Bodies in and around him, trying to play balls into him and trying to link play up. And he has that one good opportunity. What we'll see in a minute. Again, that one there, bodies in front of him. Comes out to Patrick, trying to work it. Another good block, I think Thompson on that occasion, the left back. And again, but we're getting good numbers forward now. You see 4 or 5 lads in and around the 18-yard box. Elise again throughout that first half was finding himself forward, galloping down that left-hand side, getting past Jack Clark. But here's the one now. This is the big one, isn't it? Yeah, he'll look back at that. I know it's easy for us to break it down, from up on the gantry. But there, he shifts it. He sees that first centre half, coming across, chops inside him. Thinks he's going to get the opportunity, but the covering defender comes across it and makes the tackle on him, and you can see his disappointment there. Just gives up on it, and the opportunity went away. And then I think this is the one right on half time, isn't it, where Jack driving into the box, trying to work his magic, and then centre half there gets half a block on it, and it's up and over the crossbar. So yeah, just as I said there, half time did come at the wrong time for us, where we were forcing Blackpool back into their box, and then we're obviously into the second half now, and as you say, Jack there, this was a difficult one. He's driving almost from the halfway line with the one defender left in front of him, 2 or 3 getting back at him, and the defender stood strong, to be fair. Thornley, I think it was, and got the block in.
Yeah, it was Thornley who got the block in. Of course, after that opportunity for Sunderland, though, it was pretty much all Blackpool for a period of time, wasn't it?
Yeah, I said give them credit. They came out of their shell a little bit, didn't they? They thought, well, Sunderland have died off a little bit, and they came into it. I thought Jerry Yates was quite lively on the left hand side. Corbino come off the bench. He was quite lively on the right hand side. but from set plays was their main threat, wasn't it? And I'd say Anthony Patterson had to make 1 or 2 great saves there.
Yeah, it got a bit spicy in the second half as well. 4 cards overall. Blackpool picking up 3, Patino, Thornley and Dougal. But what was Blackpool's philosophy when they were, getting into the game in the second half? He thought, maybe they might want to nick it, but they still were trying to slow the game down, weren't they, to their advantage?
Yeah, they were at times, and I think gradually as the half wore on, I said it there, that you could see the confidence coming out of them, as if to say, well, Sunderland have died off themselves at the top end of the pitch. We can talk about it again. The 2 strikers missing that real focal points. Obviously we chopped it. Ahmad went off. Jack Clark played through the middle for 10-15 minutes. Then he moved over to the far side. Diaku come on. He played through there, but we struggled to get hold of the ball and to gain yards into their half, really. And that was the frustration in the second half. But I thought credit to the fans. They tried to stay with the team as long as they could. Just in that last 5 minutes or so where a little bit of frustration shone through. And, rightly so. I think at the end of the day, we've had 2 home games and they'll feel that there were 6 points there for the taking. But we've had to settle for 2.
Dan Neil came on as well in the second half. So did Edouard Michu. What did you make of Dan Neil's performance? Because he came on, he had to play quite a deep role, didn't he?
Yeah, he came on where obviously Corey was playing in there. So Dan, you can see I think I prefer Dan a little bit higher up, but with taking Corey off, I think Tony Mowbray brought him on there to try and get us a little bit of control. And Dan's good at those little 10-15 yard balls just to zip it into the lads ahead of him. And obviously Barr came on there. And Michu, as you say there, he was trying to get into the game, quite bright and busy. Got a shot away, didn't he? It was blocked. But it was just frustration. I give credit to Blackpool as well. Sat deep at times in numbers and made it difficult for us to get some shots away. And overall, Maxwell's only had a couple of saves to make, hasn't he, throughout the 90 minutes? Yeah,
Blackpool would be happy with the point, won't they, overall?
I think so. I think if you ask Michael Appleton, he'd maybe be a little bit disappointed. We talk about set plays for us. We usually have double figures in corners. I think we've only had maybe 4 tonight.
We had 5 and they had 13.
So they've dominated in terms of set plays, and he'll have seen that as an advantage for them. Looking at our team, we've said it there, where we set up with our 3 so-called centre halves. Really, obviously Elise being one of them. Danny Barter and Luke O'Nien set up across the 6, and credit to them, they go and win a lot of balls. But other than that, we're quite a small side, and they haven't really capitalised on that. Saying that, the one that Patterson had to claw from behind the line, that was, I think it was one of the midfielders who got on the end of that for them, and it was a good save from Anthony Patterson. Had to claw it off the line. But yeah, overall, I think a point is probably a fair result.
Okay then, we've got our monitor back on the pitch side, so let's have a look at the latest scores in and around the Championship. Bristol City 0, Coventry 0, Luton 3, Huddersfield 3. That was 3-2 at half-time, wasn't it? Sheffield United 0, Queen's Park Rangers 1. That's a big result at the top end of the Championship. Cardiff 1, Blackburn 0, Reading 1, Norwich 1. Some interesting scores there, Danny.
Yeah, look at the teams above us there. A couple of top 4, top 5 playing each other there. So interesting, as you say. Sheffield United, big result for them, getting beat at home. QPR on their travels.
I wonder if we can move on to hashtag Ask Danny. I think there's just a couple this evening to get through. This one's came through from Lee, who says, as a left-footed player, Danny, how good is Elise, especially given his age? What can we expect from him? And do you not fancy mentoring him? Well, you are doing some work behind the scenes at the academy, aren't you? But not necessarily working with the first team. What do you make of Ajay Alessi?
Yeah, currently he's about 20 yards to our left-hand side here, but
it's got to be careful what you say here.
No, he's been exceptional since he come into the team. I think you look at Reading away, great performance down there, coming to a team and part of a clean sheet. Down at Watford, getting forward as much as he can, got himself a goal, defended well that day. And just continued it on from there. You can see the confidence in his performances. Young lad coming up here. We said it there. He's had to bide his time with Dennis being the first choice as it was. Dennis picks up his injury, but he's come into the team and he's been excellent, driving forward.
Well, that's what I think the fans are like about him, the way he just gallops forward. And many times this evening, he was the furthest player forward for Sunderland.
He was, yeah. You were pointing out, weren't you? Just pointing him out there. Look at him. He's in the box again, getting past Jack Clark and on the underlaps as well, getting involved. And I'm sure he'll pop up with another goal or 2 before the end of the season, but just his overall play, really. To be fair, Corbino come on and give him a difficult time in the last 10 minutes of the game or so. Tricky on that left foot, playing on the opposite side. But overall, I think he's been excellent and a real plus for Tony Mowbray.
Another clean sheet for Sunderland. That's a positive to take away from this evening. And Luke O'Nien had a lot to do with that. Your man of the match?
Yeah, it was tonight. I don't want to be stood here giving the defenders man of the match week in, week out, but I've gone to Leslie the last couple of games, and obviously tonight I went for Luke, and The reason I went for Luke, could have gone, Danny Bart I thought was excellent as well, but Luke up against Gary Medine pulled onto him more often than not. And he's a big physical presence.
A few battles, didn't he, throughout the minutes?
Yeah, but I thought Luke in general competed well with him. Distribution in general on the floor was good. He was stepping in, Luke, when he could. And he was calm, and he's taken to that right centre-half role really well. Not his natural position, being asked to do a job, and I think he's been outstanding in recent weeks, as the other lads have at the back as well alongside him.
So plenty positives for Tony Mowbray, do you think, to take away from this? But ultimately, we need to solve how we get the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, we don't want to become a Preston, keeping it tight at one end, but failing to score and trouble to keep enough at the other end of the pitch. Swansea at the weekend might suit us a little bit more away from home. Swansea will be a little bit more expansive, and the onus is on them, obviously, to bring the game to us, and that could suit us on the counter-attack as well. Whereas in the last 2 home games, obviously, Preston come and sat deep, compact. It was difficult to break them down. And for the first 45 minutes as well tonight, Blackpool come out a little bit more in that second half, but overall, teams coming up here. We said it last year, League One teams coming up here sit deep and it's difficult, and we thought a lot more Championship sides coming here would come out, would have a go, and it'd be a little bit more open. But the last 2 games, it hasn't been the case really. But we're going to have to find a way. We've had to battle on without our regular strikers. Mm-hmm. He's changed it again tonight, Tony, with Ahmad coming in up top, gone back to a 4-3-3. He might well look to change it again at the weekend and to try and create that scoring formula.
Well, he's got a few days to think about what he might do. Tony Mowbray will be back in action on Saturday. Sunderland travelling down to the Swansea City Stadium for that one. 3 p.m. kickoff means we'll be on air from 2:30 here on SAFC Live, so please join us for that one. You can buy your matchday streaming passes right now at safc.com. In the end, though, here at the Stadium of Light tonight, it finished Sunderland 0, Blackpool 0. We'll see you next time.